Okay, I just want to start off by saying a massive thank you to Bobby, because not only is he super busy and taking time to come on today and actually help us out more. Also, I kind of have to apologize to Bobby because I was kind of taking over the chat row today, and he was helping out someone else too. So apologies for that. But Bobby, I'm curious, how did you know that there was forest fires going on in BC? Just the news, or?
Oh, yeah, just the news, yeah. And I didn't see exactly where in BC, but you're just outside Vancouver, right?
Yeah, like right outside Vancouver. So, but it's funny that you mentioned that because my mother was in the Okanagan with my auntie and uncle and everyone, right? And
before the release, stand by.
And basically, I used to go to this campground all the time in the Okanagan, and the people who used to babysit me, they're on the lake tubing, right, with the kids and the family and whatever and whatnot, and they started seeing smoke, and what happened was actually they could, no joke, they actually watched their house burn down from the lake because they were in the boat, right? And it happened so quick, like you have no idea how quick. Actually, you probably do, but it's like it happens like in seconds, right? So one house burns down, then the next house burns down. I think there's only 2 houses that burn down. But the crazy thing is to think.
10 seconds before the release, stand by.
You know, that morning she was at her house doing laundry, and then she came to the campground because they live close to the lake, right? And then she was at the campground, staying there, and it's literally on the boat just watching the house burn down. But I mean, that's just gotta be the worst. So, but yeah, I mean, I wasn't there, but it was yeah, it's crazy. So, but how have you been?
That is crazy. I hope they had insurance.
Yeah, they did.
I've been good, yeah. Just busy. Summers are always busy, but yeah. Was there anything?
Yeah, I was thinking if we kind of split the conversation, like if it's okay with you if we start with you finishing your help with the Joker, because I think what you guys were saying was just perfect, right? You look at your long term, you look at your 5 and 15. It's nothing new, but it's a good refresher just to have. If we just quickly do a example, and then that'll definitely help out with a lot of people, I think, because before you can do the BB strategy, you have to know other videos. I mean, she says that in the PDF, right? So before you even think about trying to do the BB strategy, you have to know ATM scores of the trend, the kisses, everything. So if that's okay with you, if you just maybe just like 5 minutes, however long it takes, just to do a example, and then yeah, and then we can talk about what I found to be super helpful for short-term bias and whatnot. Over.
Yeah, that would be that would be perfect, actually, because that's one of the things. Those are 2 of the things that I wanted to talk about, and actually the Borg. I can't wait to see what the Borg has got for us. But Joker and I were looking at the UJ, and now this is about a half an hour ago now, and the UJ was just kind of floating around. It wasn't doing too much. It had that on the 5 minute. It had that pink, yellow, red down, and then it just kind of hovered for a while, and we were trying to get to the point where it was a good trade to take with the trend. And at the time, that on the UJ 1 hour, that red wasn't there, obviously, because that candle hadn't come out yet, but it was a 2-1 up. The 1 and the 4 hour were correlating, and I think both the 15-minute and the 5-minute, the last arrow was down. So we were trying to pinpoint an entry to go back up with the trend, and we actually managed to do that. We got in with momentum even before the 5-minute signal came out there, the red, and it was a winning trade. And so that is something that I wanted to talk about, Benny, was that I think sometimes people get a little bit caught up in the excitement of how many trades BB and Benny and Mosh Pipper are taking, and everyone wants to do that, right? Because it's exciting. But before you do that, you should probably have a bit of a baseline of more solid trades, because unless you have that timing perfect, then it's tough to go up and down. And so really what you want to master first is sort of what JazzFriend does, and that's 1 and 4 hour correlation with the trend if you can, but against the trend bias is strong as well. Obviously, if you got 1 and 4 hours against the trend, those are just as good. But if you're doing that, and then the other thing that's thanks to BB, that's become really important is the correlation between the 15-minute orange road direction and the last 15-minute arrow. There's if they're both going in the same direction, you really do not want to trade against that correlation. Like you say, Benny, your short-term bias, because I don't know if it was last week or early this week, John 22 had we were talking, you and John 22 were taking a trade, and he couldn't figure out why it lost. It was like a 4-1 or a 5-0 even. I think it was a 4-1, but it was against the last 15-minute arrow, and it was against the orange road direction, and that's why it lost. So before you get into those advanced trades, you really want to do the JazzFriend system and just master that with the trend stuff, because today was a perfect example with Joker, where Joker took a UJ up in the middle of Yellen talking.
Yeah, I'm actually really happy you brought that up, because when you're trading with a trend or with a strong bias with the 50-minute, the nice thing is if your trade goes against you, you don't really have to worry about getting out, because the chances of it, and what I mean by this is the chances of this trade winning is going to be so much higher that, like, what I do is let's say I take that UJ up, right? Actually, no. A better example would be better example is UC down, right? So if I take the UC down and it's going against me, okay, not only do I have a 6-0 score to the downside, I can keep taking it down if I can get another entry point to the downside, right? So, example, let's say we get a pullback, like right now. Let's say we get a pullback. I find my pullback, and then I can take it down again later on. And I love the whole 15-minute bias situation, because it really is true. I mean, when you get let's take let's look at an example right now.
It's really powerful.
Let's just take the EU. Yeah, it's really powerful. Let's just take EU. I understand the road's pointing down on the 15-minute, but the EU, we have two MEMS, 5 and 15-minute, right? Your long-term bias is down, but you're also against the trend, but you're at a good price on the 15-minute. So basically, my point being is short-term up, and then when you say signals to take it down with the trend, take it down at a good price with the trend. So in like 20 minutes. But yeah, like what you said before, my favorite part about the BB strategy is the 15-minute and 5-minute orange road and signals on the 15-minute, right? Just because it's so powerful. That's where she's taking all her pips, I think. So, over.
Benny? I think I lost you there.
Yeah, hello?
Can you hear
Oh, I said over.
me? Okay. Sorry, I missed that last part. What did you say?
Yeah, so basically,
Yeah, and like while we're on the topic of like the UC right now, for instance, the same thing happened on EU, and now this was, well, I guess this was quite some time ago now. But we were looking at this is probably half an hour ago, but we were looking at EU down, and the setup was so good, just like it is on the UC now for downs. But on a strong trend like that, it may not have to get all the way back to the 5-minute orange road. You might, you're looking for it to basically get back into the golden road on the blue chart. And if it does that, you can start taking it down again. Like when you've got the last 5-minute and 15 minutes are in your favor, and the 1 hour and 4 hour, like those are just golden road trades, pure and simple. And if you can do those, then you're going to make a lot of money here.
yes,
Over.
yes. You know what, Bobby, I can totally agree with you on that. Actually, totally agree with you on that, because I do believe I saw that exact scenario. I'm pretty sure it was the EU, and that was this morning actually, and I actually took it down because it was exactly what we were just talking about. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that was the EU too. But no, I'm actually very happy you pointed that out, because it's actually really really good information. Plus, I've noticed also the when the candles close below support, okay, with this new tweak that we have, and I know we have that 5-minute in play, but when that sucker is below the trend line, below the support line, I think it's still pretty powerful to the downside. Now, of course, at this extreme case of, if we're going to get technical, you're hitting a low on the 5 right now, and this is what actually me and Mosh are talking about, is would you think this is going to keep going down, or do you think it's going to go back up, right? And with the situation that we have right now, I think it's on the UC. Yeah, on the UC, right? So do I think that's going to break, or do I think it's going to pull back and then come down? My prediction is it's going to come back up, close above the orange road on the blue charts, and then come right back down. If it doesn't do that, or we can get high momentum and take it back down with DX. I'd just like DX to be there as well. So that's what me and Mosh were talking about before. How do you know if it's going to pull back up or go back down? So, but yeah. So what's your take on the BB strategy, Mosh? I mean, not Mosh, Bobby. Over.
Well, I think that principle about the 15-minute orange road and the last 15-minute arrow, I think that's just phenomenal. That correlation, I think, is really powerful. Like I said, to get back to what you were saying, I agree with you and Mosh completely. Like, I think one of the ways And Roman had asked me to sort of reiterate what I was saying earlier. Roman, what I was saying is that it doesn't have to retrace as much before you can take it back down. It might not have to get back into the 5-minute orange road. It might only have to get to the blue chart orange road. So Roman, that's what I was talking about there. Yeah, I think, Benny, once you get the blues set up, then that's when it's gonna go higher. That's what Julian's talking about. But yeah, I mean, look at this UC go, and it's a little bit of a unique situation for the UC this week, of course, because of the interest rate hike for Canada, and now Yellen talking. So there's a lot of different factors, but I mean, this thing is just plummeting.
Yeah, I think it's going to keep going until...
Over.
Actually, if you even look at the UC 1 hour, we have all that space to hit the support, right? If you guys look at the UC 1 hour, right, you have a a red pink with the trend.
Yep.
If Jazz was here, he'd probably kill you if you went against that. So, right? So my point being is just find more entries to take this down. So any excuse to take this down, take it down. Now, of course, you have a blue in play, so maybe wait for that to, if you want to be fancy, you can take a short to the upside and then take it back down later. Right? But I love the 1 hour because this is telling me, excuse me, it's a 3-0 on the long term, and we have a lot of space to go down till it hits support. All right, how many pips is that? That's like, that's roughly what, 50, I think it's roughly 50.
A lot.
60 pips till now, right? Now, of course, right now is a good example to take this up for a short, right? Momentum's in, you got the blue, you got the red. But any excuse to take it down, I'd much rather take it down, right? So you got 60 pips till it hits support. I definitely just be looking for downs. So, over.
And that's the key. If you're new, you could take it up, but it's risky. And when you're new, there's no reason to take those risks because you can just wait for it to come back up and then take it down again. So I like how you differentiate between basic and more advanced trades. I have to go back a second. Shoot, what was that? Oh, somebody had asked on the 15-minute BB correlation, does it have to be the last surviving candle, or can it be the arrow on the current candle, the last surviving arrow, or the arrow on the current candle? And I think to answer that, you want to give more attention or weight to the last surviving, because we know that the new ones can go away, right, if it's in the current candle.
Yeah.
But if you get big momentum, those current the arrows on the current candles can really perform. So you don't necessarily want to always wait until they finish, but you want on the current, if you get an arrow on the current candle, you want some pretty good momentum to go with it to tell you, yes, this is actually going to perform. Over.
Yeah, I can totally agree with that, Bobby. Actually, I think a good example would have been the GU quite a few minutes ago, I think 40 minutes ago, something like that. Anyways, once that 15-minute pointed up,
yeah,
I knew the orange road was pointing down. Oh, I think actually this is where I took it down with that blue chart. MT, could you please actually, it's okay with you guys on the blue charts, just zoom out, because I took this down once it closed above the orange road on the blue charts. No, isn't he here? Or maybe he's gone. Anyways, guys, what happened was it was above the orange road. Okay.
Went for a coffee.
Yeah, I think so. He literally took a break. That's okay. He deserves it. So, but my point being is it went above the orange road. The trend was a strong downtrend. 5
Well
15
deserved.
minute. Yeah, for sure. The 5 and 15 minute orange rows were pointing down, and boom, went down, and then take it back up, do with the blue, and the 15 minute, and a good price on the 5 minute with momentum, right? So I love being all over the place. That's kind of my style, but I need to be focused if I'm going to do that. So that's why I haven't really been taking 1,000 pips a day, is because I'm answering questions on the left and taking trades. But that's definitely worth it. It's a lot of fun, and you guys definitely make my day. So it's well worth my time. So yeah, that's over. Yeah.
Okay, so Watermelon asked a question about the EU. You on the 15-minute EU, the last arrow is up, and if you look even closer, that orange road is starting to point up. So I would be ignoring that red on the 5-minute Watermelon, and not only that, but if you look at so obviously when that red showed up, the orange road was down, but the arrow was up. So you could go up or down with it. And there was some more down. Like, as you can see, after the red finished, it shot back down some more. So that's when the orange road was still down. Then that pink came into play, and it brought it up. And then that 15-minute candle on the EU closed above support. So that's a good sign that it's starting to go up. And now you can see the last 3 15-minute candles, that little part of the orange road is actually pointing up again. So I wouldn't really be looking for too much in the way of downs unless we get some good momentum. See, even this 5-minute pink now on the EU is struggling. So it'll come down, but we're going to need momentum to switch, at least one of the DXs to switch. Where's the long terms? It's 2-1 down on the long terms, so that might be a good trade, but you got to wait for it. And this is something that I think, Benny, you talk about, and it's really, really good, is we don't want to really be looking for trades, you guys. We're not looking, where can I get into a trade? Where can I get into a trade? That's not what Benny does. What Benny does is he anticipates what conditions need to happen for me.
Yes, Bobby, I'm actually so happy you brought that up, because I try to teach that as much as I can. Anticipate. I was actually going to talk to you about that today, because I was going to ask you, does anticipating, right, and kind of predicting and visualizing what the market's going to do next, do you think that's going to help with the trading? And for me, I mean, the answer is obviously yes. But, and I tell people, anticipate, right? Short ups and then long downs later, right? That's kind of what I do, or vice versa, right? So I have my short and then I have my long, and then I ask myself, what's going to get me in? So, over.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%, Benny, because especially what you said about visualizing and anticipating. I think everyone in this room probably has done it at least once, where you think something is going to happen in the market, you wait for it to happen, and then you take your trade. And that is just such a good feeling. You're like, oh my God, I just did it, And if you do that every time, then that's how you become successful. So anticipating and visualizing, knowing what you're looking for, that's the key. And like I say, that's what timing is, because once you have all of that, then it's like, oh, there's momentum. I've got all my other criteria. Boom, I'm in. And you don't worry about it, and you're not afraid of it. So that's when you start to trust those good setups, and you can hang in there on a trade that goes against you for a little bit. So that's I think that's the key to all of it, Benny. Over.
Yeah, I love it. I love it, Bobby. Totally agree with you on everything you said. Like, I'll give you an example. Right now on the UJ, as we were talking, I was anticipating this to go up. Okay, because that's now a 3-2 score, right, with a trend at a good price on the 5-minute. Your 50-minute one is pointing up. You had a pink in play, right, and now I'm anticipating. I say to myself, okay, now this is gonna close above the orange road, right, and if we get red momentum, right, I'll take it down, because now the 50-minute is in play, good price on the 5-minute with a momentum on the blue charts. And the reason I take it down is because that's a part of BB strategy, and at least from what I got from it, and it's because it's at a good price on the 1 hour too. But I'd fancy more ups than I would downs, obviously, because the 5-minute and 50-minute ones are pointing up, and that's kind of like my bread and excuse me, that's kind of like my bread and butter. So I would fancy more ups, but if I do want to be fancy and take a short to the downside, I would do that as well. So over.
Yeah, I agree, Benny. That's a perfect setup for ups. You've got 2-1 on the long terms. 1 and 4 hour are correlating. The 15-minute orange road is up, so even though there's that 15-minute down arrow, you can still go up and down. And yeah, like you said, just anticipating, like you see the 5-minute price action was hovering right around support, and you had that red 5-minute that failed. So you're like, okay, I know this is coming soon, and then you get the arrow and momentum on the blue charts, and you just take it up. Like that's just textbook trading, right? Like that's what Jastran talks about. Rachel, I think what you had said, where it sounds reasonable, but it's hard to do. I think some of that is just experience, and Joker and I were talking about it earlier, how he's asking, what are you looking for to take it back down? Once you've been here a while, you know exactly what you're looking for to take it back down, or up, or whatever. And like we've been talking about this EU, and it just doesn't want to come down yet. Like, it's already got two failing 5-minute signals. And if you're just fixated on 5-minute signals, then that's going to be frustrating for you, because you're like, why is that not going down? But if you look at the whole story on the EU, so yeah, the long terms are a little messy, but that short-term bias, like Benny talks about, it's not ready to come down yet. So basically now we're waiting for either big momentum to kick in, or more likely it'll need a 15-minute down arrow to take the euro back down. Oh, here comes something. So yeah, so now some big momentum and it starts moving. So
yeah, that's definitely a trade that I think Baby would take, Bobby, because you have your long-term in play, good price on the 5-minute with a 15-minute orange road pointing down, but she would have taken it, I think, a few minutes ago, and probably would have already won, because it hits that top cap, the high cap. It's kind of crazy. And our UJ's won as well, and the UC won as well. I took a UC down. I didn't take the UJ down, but I was telling you guys, if momentum kicks in, right, I'm taking that down because of the 5-minute good price, but I'd rather take that up because of our bias is up, right? As soon as momentum switches, we're going to be at a good price. Oh, sorry, not a good price, but we still have our orange roads in play, or 5 minutes in play. They're both pointing up. Good price on the blue charts, so you should be looking for more ups, but the down would have worked as well. So, and plus the EU is finally coming down because of the yellow in play as well. And obviously a long term is staying down too. And momentum switch, the axis switch. So just wait for that, guys, and then you can get in, right? So be patient. Oh, and Bobby, sorry to interrupt, but something. Yeah, there's quite a big delay here. What I was going to say is, if the trend is 3-2 to the downside, like the EU, and it's above, it's a good price on the 15 and the 5. Wait for momentum in DX and at least a 3-2 score, and that's a fantastic trade. And plus, most of the time when that happens, it's usually going to shoot down or shoot up. I find that's just something I found. So, over.
For newbies, I think it's very simple. I think it's what Jazz Friend talks about. I think it's you want 2-1 scores at least on the long term. Preferably you want 1 hour and 4 hour correlation, because that's even more powerful. And then you want the overall ATM score to be in your favor, so at least 3-2. Ghost talks about that too. How if he's got 1 hour, 4 hour correlation, he needs a 5 minute or a 15 minute, and then you take it with an arrow on the blue charts and momentum. I mean, it's really not, I think it's about not getting caught up too much in all the activity in the room, because people are taking trades everywhere, and the nice thing is this can make you feel better about yourself, is you're never going to get every trade available. So don't try. Just wait for the trades that you like. And if you do that, then you'll just build your confidence. And then, thanks to Benne and BB and some of the other traders in the room, I'm now much more comfortable than I used to be on taking reversal trades. And Julian, especially Julian and his blues, right? Like if you're getting a 4-1 against the trend and there's a blue involved and maybe a yellow, like that's a solid trade, and especially at a good price. The good price principle is phenomenal for that. I think Abraham can attest to that. So, those are good trades as well, but you have to build to that point. I didn't start, taking 50, 60 pips a day. I started taking 10, 15, 20, 25 pips a day. So it's about, you don't want to feel like you're missing out, and you can't be afraid to miss trades, because there's so many trades to take, you're never going to get them all. Over.
Bobby, I could not agree more with you, and it's actually something I wanted to talk about in the room. I like to say this to everyone when they start, especially new people when they start. They go, "Oh, I want to start out with a BB strategy." And I say no. Don't start with the BB strategy. That's under advanced trading. Okay, and we put it underneath advanced trading for a good reason. Right? First of all, it doesn't work if you don't know the other strategies first. Actually, it doesn't work if you don't know how to master the other strategies first. So, first, master exactly what Bobby just said. 1 and 4 hour correlation, and everything you just said was absolutely perfect. I can maybe make a PDF or even a video of what you just said, because that was just gold. And then when you've mastered that, then you can try and get fancy and go with what BB, Mosh, Abraham, all these people are now doing in the room. Like even me, like I'm still demoing. I think I hope a few of you know this, right? I'm still demoing this Mosh strategy. I'm not doing $10 a pip with a Moss strategy. I'll do $10 a pip with trades like UC down, like I just took there, or the UJ down, right? That's when I do $10 a pip. I'll do 10 cents a pip when it comes to still doing the Moss strategy or the baby strategy, because I still want to master that, right? And then, yeah, I get a good idea of how it works, right? I'm not at 99% yet, and I will be soon. But my point being is, first master the easy things and the things that work really well, because once you do that, then you can make money in the room, and quite a bit too if you're consistent with this. And then when you want to get fancy, and you have time for that, then you can jump into that. But first, please get your bread and butter down first with what Mercy and Bobby and Jasmine are doing. Okay, it's and then when you're confident with that and you're making money, then please go knock yourself out and do what we're doing. All right. Yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to say right there. Over.
Yeah, that's good advice, Benny. And I think sometimes people forget, because Benny, you've been a big part of this room for about the last, I guess, 6-7 months, but you've got a lot of experience in trading before that as well, because you were doing your own thing for a number of years. So as much as Benny was here and then gone for a couple of years and now he's back, he's got a ton of experience, and BB has practiced and demoed so much that even though she's been only here for 7-8 months, she's got the experience of somebody who's been here a couple of years like me. So experience really does matter. So you don't want to rush it. And actually, I wanted to talk about one thing that I think is really a great idea of BB's, and that is, so we all know that it can sometimes be tough for people who are switching from demo to a live account, because all of a sudden the stakes are higher and there's emotions involved and things like that. So on demo, you might be killing it. You're getting 100, 200 pips a day on demo. You're trading everything you see, up, down, and you're feeling great about it. And then for whatever reason, the emotions get involved. There's a little bit of anxiety. Things tighten up a little bit when you go live. And BB has what I think is a really good solution for that, and that is when you first switch to a live account, that first day that you switch, just take one live trade, and then the second day take 2 live trades, and then the third day take 3, and then 4, and then 5. So that way, what you end up doing totally naturally and without I just won actual real money, and then you do it the next day, and you're taking 2 trades and 3 trades and 4 trades, and like I said, guys, you can make a lot of money doing this with 20, 25 pips a day, even 10 pips a day. There's spreadsheets that people have made that show 10 pips a day will make you a millionaire, right? So don't feel pressured to take a million trades, and especially at first, just start off slow, and what you'll end up doing is you'll end up taking the best quality trades without even thinking about it. And Julian's right, like you can do it just with the blues on their own. That's more or less what he does, and he kills it every day here. So I thought that was a great idea by BB, and I think that could help a lot of people switching over. It might make the transition less painful. Over.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Fantastic, Bobby. And by the way, we have an EU down, 4-1 down with the trend on the 15-minute line. The only thing you got to watch out is for momentum in DX. But yeah, what you just said there, Bobby, is just fantastic, I think.
5 minutes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and like, please, I hope you guys are recording this session because Bobby just said some literally gold in the room here. So yeah, take notes, record it obviously. I'll see if I can make like a PDF or something for just to wrap up what we were saying. But something I actually want to talk about is the amount of help that is coming in the room now is absolutely phenomenal, guys. And what I mean by this is like uh, when I was doing the baby strategy on video, um, there's I think 4 people who sent me their version of baby strategy. Okay, excuse me. So 4 different people were sending MT um, these different versions of baby strategy. And so what I did was I gave me a whole different look of how baby's strategy could be played out. All right. So what I mean by this is that really helped me out, right? And whenever someone from the room, and these are people who like I last expected to send me stuff. Like, I'm not gonna say who, but my point being is when people send me those little things, it really makes my day because when you get more people involved with this and more people trying to help out in the room, that's what gets me excited, and that's what makes me keep making these videos. All right. So the more the people get involved, the more excited I get, and the more I think we're gonna get out of everything. Right. I mean, like for a good example, like Bobby came on today. Right. Like this guy is super busy. He has a company. He's got a family. He's doing $500 a pip here. Right. So I mean, you guys owe him one major thank you. Like things like this really get me excited and pumped up to make more videos and help out people more, right? Because everyone's getting involved, and yeah. So I just wanted to say that, and in the room. So hint hint, wink wink, over.
Thanks, Benny. So somebody was asking about the UJ. I mean, UJ. I mean, it looks like it's going to be coming down more.
Yeah.
Might come under the 15-minute road. Things are a little slow right now. It's that time of day, so yeah, I don't know. I'm not loving anything at the moment. Kind of mixed signals.
The UJ for me, Bobby, is let's say we get a good price on the 5-minute with momentum taking us down. I think that's going to go down for quite a bit, right? Because you have if you look at the 1 hour, right?
Yeah.
We have that 1 hour in play, and there's a lot of room till support, right? And this is correlating with the UC decently, right? So what I'm anticipating here on the UJ, and I could be totally wrong, guys, but this is just what my open thoughts here is. We have long-term biases down. We have a 4-1 score to the downside. Okay. I think UJ will go down, just not immediately. Right? I think it's going to be choppy for the next little bit, and then it'll go down later. Because if you think about it, our trend on the 15 is still pointing up. Momentum and DX are green, right? So this is going to be choppy up and down. If you want to get fancy, you can take shorts to the upside and downside, and then you can take it down for a long. But if I would take a trade right now, I'd take the GU down because of the 4-1 score with the 1 and 4 hour correlation and a good price on the 5-minute with the 15-minute in play. So, nice, Anissa.
Yeah,
over.
There it goes.
About 12.24 on the EU from a while ago. Does anybody have any questions for Bobby or for me? Or Roman's got a question, Bobby.
One chart for the best bias. Always focus on one trade. Roman, that's a good question. And actually, I think, and I haven't watched Moshe's video yet. I haven't had time, but I thank you, Mosh, for doing that. I think it's really helpful. And just what Benny said about how many people are contributing now, it's just phenomenal. It really is, like MT says, it's like open source trading, and people see things differently. So that's just amazing. So yeah, like what Mosh says, you can sort of focus on maybe 2 pairs instead of all 4, because it's hard. It's one chart for the day or focus on always best bias. Yeah, like it's hard to. Not everyone can be all over the place and sort of absorb everything from all 4 pairs. So I think it is a good idea, especially when you're starting out, if you want to focus just on 1 or 2 pairs. And I would say there's 2 things to look for when you're choosing a couple of pairs to focus on. Number 1 is obviously the setup, right? So you're looking for trend and bias. You want solid trends on 1 and 4 hours, and you want correlation ideally between 1 and 4 hour arrows. But the second component is you also want to look for pairs that are actually giving pips, because a lot of times, I think it's usually the EU more than anything, but sometimes the pairs just are not very generous. The GU is most of the time pretty generous. And the UCAD lately has been giving tons of pips. But if you look at those 2 factors, good setups and which pairs are giving pips, and you just ride out 1 or 2 of those pairs for the day, I think that's a great idea, because then you really get to analyze what's going on with each one, and that's how you can anticipate. Over.
Yeah, I totally second that, Bobby. I really do. That's wow, it's really helpful. I love it, man. And I sure hope you guys are listening up super careful to what Bobby's saying here. When I say it's gold, this is coming from me. Okay, I'm not saying I'm, crazy, amazing at the trading. But my point being is, what I do is I take everything I see, all right, and I take the best out of everything I hear and see. So I guess an example is like, I'll listen to Bobby, I'll listen to Jazz Fan, I'll listen to everybody, and then if I like it, if it works, I take it, and then I experiment with it, and I use it. So please, guys, like, really listen to what he's saying today, okay? It's life-changing for sure. So, and by the way, who took the GU and won the GU? Because I know it's not too volatile, but I did win the GU. Oh, I think MT just sent a message. One sec. Okay. Bobby, you want to take this question from Solzo? MT, can you send it again, please?
How to time a trade. Yeah, okay, so Solozo, basically you just want to anticipate what's going to happen before it happens. If you're waiting to react to what's happening, then you probably are too late. So what to look for are, quality, we'll call them quality setups, and it's just exactly what Jazz talks about on his videos, and it's the formula. I don't even know where it is anymore on the website, but the formula for a trending trade. So you want to trade with the trend. You want at least 2-to-1 arrows on the long terms, and at least one of the 5 or 15 minute, and then you wait for it to appear on the blue chart. So you wait for an arrow on the blue chart with momentum, and it's usually the momentum that happens last. So you get all of that information, and then the momentum hits. That's when you time your trade. If you wait until it starts to move, and then you're like, oh, maybe this is it, and then you take it, you probably are going to be too late. So that's just a matter of practice. So just do what BB says. Over.
Do we have any more questions for Bobby or Benny? Because that time is 8:20 on my clock right now. It's 10:20 for you guys, I think. 11:20 for you guys. So. Oh.
SM has a good question, Benny, and I think it's something that I think we're trying to address that. SM. Yeah, it's not ideal if you're taking a 3 pip profit and stop loss of 15. If you're losing a couple of trades a day, then that's maybe going to wipe out all of your profits. So I think as a group we are working on that. I think you can set your stop loss a little bit lower. Like I don't do a 15 stop loss anymore. I'm usually in the 10 to 12 range, and even still, it really doesn't get that close. Like if I see something that's obviously going against me, I'll get out. But yeah, I mean, with the trend, you can take 4 or 5 pips. Like Jazz Friend's 5-minute trending pink strategy, that's going to go for 5 pips pretty much every time. And so if you take a little bit more and lose a little bit less, then all of a sudden you're going to find you're profitable every day, or at least every week, like MT says. And it's funny because me and Benny are talking about a lot of stuff that MT always talks about, but it's I guess different hearing it from people trading in the room rather than from the teacher, right? Nobody ever listens to the teacher, but if you have a fellow student that's has some good advice, then you're more apt to listen to them.
Yeah, that's very well said, Bobby. I was actually demoing stop loss 5 and take profit 15. All right, so get this. Was it every 3 trades that you take? If you lose 3 and win 1, you're, close to breaking even? So maybe after commissions and spread, it's a little bit down. But if you take 5 trades, win 2, you're in the positive. Right? So if you lose 3 trades, you're still in the positive. Now I can see why people would argue that that's not a good idea, but I'm still demoing this, guys. I just took 12 on the UJ. Speaking of the UJ, what did I tell you guys? Up and then right back down. Proof that I've been here for a long time. Back to what I was talking about. Take profit 15, stop loss 5. Okay, and what I really like about this is if your entries are good, okay, so once you get your entries good, this works really well, okay? And now my second opinion on this take profit and stop loss is putting your take profit and putting your stop loss at a reasonable place. So not numbers, but more like support and resistance. Okay, so for instance, I put my stop loss on the UJ where the 5-minute and 15-minute resistance is, maybe a little bit above. Then my take profit would be where support is on the 5-minute, right? So my stop loss is like negative 4 or 5 pips, maybe 3 pips, maybe even 2 pips, don't even know what that is. And my take profit is like, how many pips is that? That is now, is like 6.7 pips. Maybe round it to 6, and then there you go, right? So I think it lowers the risk a lot, but I'm still demoing it. I'm still working it out, and then as soon as I find something that works well, I'll make a video ASAP, and we'll go from there. But I'm still demoing the manually placing your take profit and stop loss. I think it works. So Bobby, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think that's a great idea, and that's something that Flash had always talked about, and I think we all kind of intuitively know, like, it really sucks when you lose a trade and it wipes out 3 of your good trades. So yeah, if we can get it to the point. And it's not with every trade, because like Ghost was saying in the chat row, there are times when you want to increase your stop loss because it's going to go in your direction. It's just a matter of time. But those, again, you want to only do that probably with the trend and with a good story, right? So it all depends on the type of trade that you're taking. So and that's, I think, what people struggle with is there's no formula where it's as simple as 1 + 1 + 1 = 3. Scenarios change, and you have to use some judgment. And again, that's where experience comes in. So if you're new and you're struggling, or even if you've been here a while and you're struggling, have some patience, keep working at it, and just don't choke out your dream, right? Like, actually, Anissa, you gave us a really good video the other day. It was on, and it was a guy, Michael Bernard Beckwith, who was talking about, like, if you're constantly pounding away and just driving yourself crazy trying to kill yourself trying to get this to work, it might never work. You have to sort of let it go a little bit and just trust it and trust yourself, and that takes time and experience. It doesn't happen overnight. So just allow yourself that time, and you'll get there. Over.
This was so amazing. So amazing.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Bobby,
Fantastic.
Benny, this was awesome. Awesome. Can
Wise
you hear
words
me?
from the Bobby. Excellent. So,
Can you hear me?
do we have any more questions before we have to leave? Benny,
Bobby, you could hear me, right?
One sec. Dave S. This is for something else.
Yeah, I can hear you, MT.
Okay. Bobby can't. Bobby, you can't hear me, right? Bobby. Benny.
Yeah, I can.
Is MT talking?
Yeah, I can hear you, MT.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Okay, very good. I could. Now I could.
Oh, Benny.
But I don't think Benny could.
MT is talking right now, Benny.
Yeah, I can't hear him. I can't hear him.
How come?
This
That's
happened
weird.
last time too, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Guys, listen, time is up. It's 11:30. I really want to thank you, Bobby, for
I
this.
can't do
You said it so well, meaning everything that was said here, nothing new. That's what we do every day. We talk about these things. But when it comes from an MT, it's refreshing. All of a sudden, it's refreshing saying, here's someone that does it. Is so successful and does it exactly the way the strategies are outlined. So, thank you so much for being on. Thank you so much. Gave me a little break, and you said it so well. Well deserved. So I appreciate that, Bobby, coming from you.